Hello and welcome to GT3 Knowledge. So in our last session, we looked at the skills you needed to do building local resilience, looking at partnership working, so now we're going to be looking at Duty 3. We're going to be looking at K11, K12 and K13. In here, we're going to be looking at the local and national strategies and organisations that deliver public services, the different local and national voluntary charities and organisations, such as debt management, crime, domestic abuse services, and then how to map services and other services available to community health. So let's have a look. So as we log in, you can see it's in two parts, the skills and the knowledge, and we'll just move straight in. So you've got your presentation there that I will let you have a flick through and have a little read about that. Okay, so first of all, we are going to be looking at focusing on providing information about local services. So the key aspects of Duty 3 really is you need to understand your local services and projects. This involves staying up to date with various services and programs, initiatives within your area, how you access those individuals and community needs, how you cultivate partnership and collaboration, how you ensure you maintain quality and safety, and how you promote health equality. But not promoting health equality, but recognising health inequality as well. So I've given you some references there to have a look at. Duty 3 looks at promoting community health and wellbeing. It requires a combination of knowledge, collaboration, assessment, communication, empathy, and advocacy skills. So here then, K11, the local and national organisations and agencies that deliver public services, including education, health, welfare, justice, healthcare, etc., and how they are funded. So there is a bit of background for you to do on this, but anyway, here we go. So K11, as described, refers to the knowledge and understanding of local and national organisations that deliver public services, including education, health, welfare, health, and how these are funded. The information is vital for anyone working within a public service role, especially in community. So if we look at education first, education is normally funded through local authorities. It's through government grants and taxes that are then supplied to local authorities. And each organisation or each area has a local education authority, and we then have the National Department for Education. So social services under the Education Act will ensure that every child has access to an education. It's important to notice that it doesn't say everyone must go to school. It says everyone must have an education. So that can be through your local social services that you access that. Housing, again, is local authority. There is the Department for Housing and Urban Development, so that's the government department. Funds come, again, from government grants, local taxes, rental incomes from public housing. Welfare, so we have the Department for Work and Pensions. They're always under fire, aren't they? For disability, discrimination, and God knows what else. And they're there with Social Security Administration. That's funding through public funding, through general taxation, insurance contribution. I probably should go back to education. Okay, just a very quick one, because if Ofsted come out and do an audit, and I haven't mentioned Ofsted, who report to the Department of Education, they might tell me off. And if I don't talk about the ESFA, who funds education in higher education, that's the Education Schools Funding Agency, they fund education as well. So apologies, Ofsted and ESFA, if you ever watch this. I didn't deliberately mean to miss you off. After all, you're the ones paying for this course. Welfare, so we've talked about that. Again, comes through primary funds, taxation. Justice is the MOJ, Ministry of Justice. And again, MOJ is useful to know, especially in mental health. If you work in a mental health or forensic setting or hospital setting, you will need to know your MOJs for sections and for releases into community, etc. But you'll know that anyway as part of your working practices. And again, that's funded through general taxation, national insurance, and other government funds. And then I've given you some recommended reading there. Okay. K-12 is about the different local and national voluntary organisations and charities that provide services. So again, these are the national ones, but I want you to remember I have done you the tools at the top. So I've already grouped together all of the tools that are online as well, but here's some other ones for you to consider. So managing debt, you've got the National Debt Line step change. This provides free confidential service for people with debt. Reporting Crime Stoppers. This allows individuals to anonymously report crimes. Domestic abuse, so Women's Age Refuge offers shelter to victims of domestic abuse, hotlines, council and emergency housing. I want you to also know that in the social prescribing stuff at the top, I've done the men's aid for refuge because men also receive domestic abuse and it's completely underrepresented, completely underreported. Because of the stigma and the shame attached to it. Domestic abuse isn't right in any format, whether it is against men, women, or anyone else. Assessing government services online. So Citizens Advice, they can assist individuals navigate online services and gain legal support. Tackling social isolation. You've got AGK, the Campaign to End Loneliness, and that's one of their strategies. They work to combat loneliness. CRUISE is the bereavement care line. Bereavement service CRUISE is an amazing one. There is also a pet version for bereavement. So let's not underestimate when we lose a pet how devastating that is. I think the Blue Cross do counselling. That's what the RSPCA, I'm not sure, but I know there is a charity there for pets. Promoting good mental health and wellbeing, Minds Mental Health Foundations, and there's some reading stuff there. So local and national organisations, charity organisations play an important role, of course they do. So you need to then know how to map services and other resources available to the community by tackling strengths and asset-based approach whilst recognising gaps in provision. So there are always going to be gaps within things. So here you need to identify community assets. So this could be looking at the manpower in the community, the networks, financial resources, organisations such as schools, healthcare providers, business, local talents, etc. Engaging with the community. So look at how you can do that, how you can utilise them, how you can engage them and bring local knowledge and foster a sense of ownership. You can think about mapping existing services and resources. So you could do a GSI mapping or community asset map that visually represents all of the services in your area. Analysing gaps by visualising an existing gaps, collaborating with stakeholders, take a strength-based approach to look at what you have got, and monitor and evaluate. And again, there's some reading resources there. So you've got some questions here to go through. You can do those and we'll then move on to the next session. Please don't forget that within this, I have given you the UK health promotions, which are all online and will cover national. The social prescribing, all online and national. And strategies for ill health, mental health, emotional resilience, coping, critical thinking, national. So it's great that you've got local and national. So it would be great for you to look at a map of your local community, of the services that you know that you could send people to, because there's lots of gems hidden away. Lots of upstairs services that you don't see. So for in Hastings, for example, we have a wonderful service called Eggtooth. And Eggtooth is a tiny little charity that works with children and adolescents, and they do lots of different therapies. So where CAMHS is completely overstretched, Eggtooth is there to pick up some of this slack with child psychology. So it's important to know this within your area. Okay, lovely. So hopefully that's all helpful. Have a go at that assessment, and I will see you all back next month for Duty 3 skills.